Hi, Markus. Can you shortly introduce the piece in the Great Landscape?
Yeah, this theater, DuvTeatern, who wanted to make a new piece, they have a history that goes back 20 years. So they have been working very much with these issues of disability and theater. They wanted to make a musical, and they asked me if I would be interested to write one, music, not the libretto. And I was, because it was a kind of a totally new adventure for me, and a new way of exploring what it could be, because I didn't know anything. I hadn't been working like this before. And when I heard that the Resonaarigroup in Helsinki, it's a music school for disabled people, they wanted to join and bring in a four-piece band. I was delighted, because that meant that we could really go deeper, and I could learn new things about music making, and of course I could learn something which was much more deeper than that, and that is the question: who is allowed to do art? And so we worked in workshops in DuvTeatern. The actors provided the text, and it was in a kind of improvising method, and the staff would then literate everything, and in a matter of 1.5 years, we had then a story and already some music, and continued to work on this. This is a kind of Gesangspiel, kind of musical mode with songs and lyrics from the actors, as well as with instrumental music. When we worked for a while, there was suddenly also interest from another music school or institute called Martin Wegelius Institute, and they wanted to join with a string quartet. So in the end, we had an 8-piece orchestra ensemble that was fit together, and that was kind of my job, to see how this music would serve everybody in the best way.
So there were 8 musicians, right? Correctly understand?
Yes.
And all of them was with disabilities, or?
No, the Resonaarigroup with the so-called rhythm combo, they were from this Resonaarigroup, and the Martin Wegelius Institute was violin string players.
Good. So it's like half of that, right?
Yeah. And this was also the kind of challenge to make it as one, and to really dig in and to work on that issue, that it is a democratic way of music making, not hierarchy. You do that, you do that. But
can you elaborate with example?
Sorry?
Can you elaborate on this democratic way? Example?
Well, it was kind of clear how to work, because one of the groups, the four, were basically the rhythm part, with also with the electric guitar in, and the other groups were very plain string quartet. So kind of these interactions were easy to make because they were so wide away instrumentally from each other and sound wise. So we tried to still work with the tutti sound, that it would feel as if we really were a one group and not two different orchestras or ensembles try to fit each other.
Yeah.
And I should say it wasn't difficult at all, that part. It was regular musicianship.
Yes. And
With, of course, some different approaches, of course. That's naturally so.
yes. And you said about, right, this from Resonaarigroup. What kind of disabilities they have?
I'm afraid I don't know the terms of this, and I wouldn't want to guess.
Yes. Yes.
So, but there were different motoric to play. The pianist could play some in a way the keyboards. I could do this, but I couldn't do that.
Right.
So that was the kind of rules that I got how to write the music. I must say that I felt totally free, though. It was more of a great positive challenge to work with the system that I had really to think of. No, you can't use the finger tree because there ain't one.
Okay.
And
Can
like
you just
this.
a little bit elaborate what kind of rules you got? Because this is very interesting, right?
Yeah.
For example.
So sorry, you have to say it again.
Yes, I said, just can you just give example what kind of rules you got, right?
Yeah. For instance, for the harmony, you couldn't write 5-part harmony for one person. You could use perhaps the right hand for the keyboard player, and the bass player who also played it through a keys, you could use, so to speak, the left hand. The guitar player was an enormous virtuoso. Really, he couldn't see, so he learned everything by heart, and his ability to play was absolutely stunning. The way he played solos, for instance, it was thrilling. so you see, they were like in a band. Everybody is different, and so this case was so too. So they worked like a band, and we tried to get the most of it by writing the music in a way that it would be convenient to play.
Yes, but convenient for them, right? It was written with ideas that they will perform, what they can perform, right?
Yeah. Everything was down on paper.
Yes, yes. And these rules you discover through some kind of through communication, through repetitions, or how?
Yes, of course. This started with the introductory period where we got to know each other and building up the trust. Also, I was the strange guy coming in from totally different and new territories. So building up that confidence between us. So I was able to introduce new music, but that wasn't either very hard. They were very positive to everything, and of course I couldn't have done it without the people who work in the Resonaari administration, Markku and others, who were always there to help, because they had the knowledge of how to deal with practical things. And they could provide me with a lot of information, what I should avoid and what is possible and what is not.
Right.
And through that we got some very nice results. I think in the end, when it sounded, you weren't thinking that there was a band of disabled people. That was not the case. It was music.
Right. And how long will it take? It took?
Let me see now. I think we worked all together for from the first telephone call I got, I think it was about 2 years, 2.5 years, to the premiere at the Swedish Theater in Helsinki.
And what was the most challenging moments for you?
Well, the challenging moments were much of that when I did something, it had to be that. The changes were not, if I wanted to make changes, it wasn't possible in a day or two. So I had to think really hard about the musical structure and dramaturgy, how it worked, so it would work, so it would fit with one take.
Right.
Because the learning process is so big.
And what you learn, right? Because I think it's very special experience to work with musicians who has some disabilities. And what was your learning point? What you learned as composer?
Well, my learning point from this all was that everything is possible. That music, it's a cliche, but it really belongs to everyone. And it gave me stronger belief in what I already had about that people with different voices must be heard. And I think it gave me myself as a composer a sort of better ground to stand on.
Yes.
Because I got much more surer for other things too through this, and finding the joy of music making again. I hadn't, it wasn't lost before that, but it just proved how important the sound is for each and every one. And through that, my everyday work got much more meaningful.
Got it. So you said, right, one approach, what was crucial here is that you understand what they can and what they cannot, and build musical material from that. What else, maybe, what kind of other methods or techniques you use?
From the point of the band as a whole, the 8 musicians, I think that it was to write the material so that it hasn't a waypoint on somebody who is very virtuoso, you know. But to weigh it up so that the whole thing would be sounding like one piece. Not that we have here we have the string players who have played 20 years strings and violin or cello, and they can do those difficult parts. And okay, you guys do that. No, not like that. But try to weigh up the musical material in that sense that the content, the entity would be understood as made from one, not so to speak arranged.
Got it. Got it. And do you use some kind of technologies as well? Do you, or have you been, or do you need to learn some technologies? What help you better with them, or how they for music?
We worked really traditionally with okay, the rhythm band had was basically electrified all the way, because we wouldn't like to have the sound problems on stage, so we used completely electronical devices to be able to gate the sound, and then of course we made some special things for the sound engineering and I mean soundscape in the room. We used, of course, synthesizers and samplers, but mainly it was the live music what was in the spot.
But before that, you said about some specific notation system that are using this band. Can you just
this is really fun because Marco and the gang on Resonaari, they have worked for many years with an original notation system for tonal music, chord-based music, rhythm music, of course, and stuff like that. And they developed a system how to transform the score I wrote into their own methods. This work with colors and with figures. So you know what is a triad, and you know when it's a certain color, then it's somewhere here. And on the keys you have the same colors represented. So you get a direct visual contact with the music. I think it's brilliant. I think it's really brilliant, and they have really done some great. They have great results with that.
But basically, right? You wrote the scores as usual, right? I don't know in Sibelius.
Yes, I work very traditionally, just normal.
Yes, then you gave them, and they convert it into system, and the system transforms into it.
Yes. That was, and that of course. When I get back to this about changing things, that was also a task for me to see that I don't do that too much, because it's you do it by hand. They don't have a computerized that, so it's a huge job. If I want to change everything, it's a huge job. Like in the old days, you write the orchestra score and then you find I need one bar here. So you cut it up and you make, and then you with tape and you put it. That was the case. So very much time on that.
Got it. Got it. And what was your motivation to create this piece?
I wanted to learn something new. I wanted to be in a group that could help me understand different approaches to making art. Like I said, for me, the main question was that who is allowed to do art? And I got it very clear, the answer, when we were ready. Everybody
Got it.
is allowed to do art.
And is it this message somehow communicates in work itself as well, or piece has other message, another?
It is, because it's a fairy tale. This story is a fairy tale about two sister princesses. The one is normal and the other is not. And what happened? But they switch in a very peculiar way and a very funny way, these two things in the show. I hope you get to see the video. I think there's a video DVD or streaming of this show, so I hope you get to see it. We also made a version for the Finnish television and had it on its streaming site for a long time, but unfortunately it's not there anymore. But this beginning of two sisters and their how their lives develop, and not in that sense that okay, now we shall change everything and everything is getting better and blah blah blah. No, they are very realistic. In the end, they say that, well, some things changed, some things were better, and other things didn't change that much. So they have a very nice way of putting it, how things are in our lives.
Got it. Got it. And what compositional ideas you used in this piece?
What composition techniques?
Yes, techniques or ideas, right?
Okay. First of all, the text that came in, the lyrics for the songs, they suited me perfectly. They are very straight, like this, pang pang. They explain something, and then the music can. I could say I have hardly ever had such a good libretto.
Good.
I've written 7 operas, and I think every time I have to struggle with the libretto that tries to explain something that the music can do. and this was not the case. This was very straight, how things are, and then it gave the full fantasy for the music to be as it is. And we had a very nice way of putting the actors were singing with their assistants actors. So each actor had an assistant actor that also is educated actor. So it was kind of a very nice dualistic presentation also, and it really got some special meanings for the vocal parts. I think it was very, you can't really imitate what was going on. It was sometimes really fascinating what happened through the singing, because it was not the usual type of singing. It was not the usual type of hitting pitch, or that wasn't important. It was the feeling and the content, what was happening was the thing. So I had some tremendous moments when I just, whoa, what is happening in this building?
And the piece was awarded, right? It got some special award.
Yes, it got from. I think it got several. You have to ask the DuvTeatern crowd because I can't remember, but I remember a very nice prize that is a Finnish-Swede small theater festival in June in Hange, and they wanted to give this, and for me that was fantastic.
Right.
Such a small community that thought this was big.
Got it. And last question, what would you suggest to other composers who would like to work with people who has maybe other needs or special needs or who has disabilities?
I think probably the best way of getting to know things would be that those who are interested contact people who are in this business, who are working with people with different problems, and through this expertise find out their angle, how they can work, because this is like any other cooperation work. You do it always in the theater. You work with the director, with the scenograph. You work with costume makers. You work with actors who are different. You always try to find your angle and the angle for the music to what it could be. How could it be here? Not that I am making it, or not, that is not important, but how could that music be? In what way? And then try to find the way to do it. So I think in my case, the absolute ultimate best was that I could get to know Markku in Resonaari and Mikaela Hasán in DuvTeatern, who both had a long expertise in this field of this kind of making, art making. So I really got to be a member of this high school for 2 years, and I'm really happy about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you. Thank you.